So this is day 2 of us reading the Bible in 1 year. So as I said to you all in yesterday's video, my new Bible that I am so in love with, it takes us on a journey of the Bible in 1 year. So yesterday we read Genesis 1 to 3. Today we are reading Genesis 4 to 7. So first of all, the little spiel that we get from the person who put this Bible together is called choices. So Genesis 4, 10 to 13. So in Genesis 4, we see the example of Cain. Unable to control his anger, he killed his brother. With the decision to act outside of the law of God, Cain sealed his fate forever. God punished him, saying, "A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be on the earth." Dear friend, the importance of choices cannot be overestimated. If you want to know what you'll be like in the future, check out the choices you're making today, what you're doing now so that you will be then. It is something of a riddle. Over the time, your choices change, for the better, I hope. The choices you make right now will determine whether you fulfill God's design for your life, whether you're dealing with you're dealing with right this minute, in the next hour, tomorrow, or for a lifetime. Make positive decisions to love, honor, and serve the Lord. Make the choices that will alter your world and the lives of others in positive ways. So a little prayer. Lord, every time I turn around, I have to make decisions. Should I get up early tomorrow? Should I eat this or that? Should I discipline my child for that behavior? Should I buy this? Should I volunteer for this project? Please give me guidance so I will choose your path and do your will. Amen. I really think that the more we learn the Bible, the more we understand what it's like to be like Jesus, the more we can change. I don't think God expects us to be perfect right from the very start, okay? So I think he would appreciate us just learning and improving as we go. So as I said, today we're reading Genesis 4 to 7. So Genesis chapter 4. Now Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, "I have acquired a man from the Lord." Then she bore again, and this time his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, and Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering, and Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. I don't understand why Abel's was accepted and Cain's wasn't. So if someone wants to jump in the comments and let me know, that would be great, because I didn't quite understand why one was accepted and one wasn't. Anyway, so the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it." Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Where is Abel your brother?" He said, "I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper?" We've heard that saying quite a bit, right? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. So now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. When you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. A fugitive and a vagabond you shall be on the earth, And Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Surely you have driven me out of this day from the face of the ground. I shall be hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond on the earth, and it will happen that anyone who finds me will kill me. And the Lord said to him, therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark on Cain's lest ere anyone finding him should kill him. Okay, so saved his life a little bit, I think. So let's look at Cain's family. Then Cain went out to the perseverance of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mahilgah, and Mahilgah begot Methishel, and Methishel begot Lamech. Then Lamech took himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Jillah. And Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. His brother's name was Jubal, and he was the father of all those who play the harp and the flute. And as for Zillah, she also bore Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every craftsman in bronze and iron, and the sister of Tubal-Cain was Mahiah. Then Lamech and his wife said to his wives, Ada and Zillah, hear my voice. Wives of Lamech, listen to my speech. For I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, then Lamech 77-fold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bore a son named Seth. For God was appointed another seed for me instead of Abel, whom Cain killed. And as for Seth, to him also a son was born, and he named him Enosh. Then men began to call on the name of the Lord. This is the book of genealogy of Adam. In the day of God created man, he made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, blessed them and called them mankind in the day. I find this chapter really fascinating, right? So have a listen to this. Jumped ahead. He created the male and the female and blessed them and called them mankind in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years and begot a son in his own likeness after the image and named him Seth. So Adam was 130 before he had Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. I would love to live for 930 years. That would be the ultimate. Seth lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years, and he died. 912 years. Enosh lived 90 years and begot Canaan. After he begot Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 950 years, and he died. Canaan lived 70 years and begot Mahiliah. After he begot Mahaliah, Canaan lived 840 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahaliah lived 75 years and begot Jared. After he begot Jared, Mahaliah lived 830 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahaliah were 895 years, and he died. Jared lived 162 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Jared lived 800 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. Enosh lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were there 365 years. Ooh, he lived not very old compared to the others. Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. After he begot Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Lamech lived 182 years and had a son, and he called his name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord has cursed." After he begot Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now, we've just heard Cain's family and where they went to, and then we heard Adam/Seth's family and where they went to. So picture them like divided into the different worlds, countries, whatever, right? But now we're just about to hear Noah's story. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were beautiful, and they took wives of themselves of all whom they chose. And the Lord said, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120. When I first read that, like a little while ago, that the Lord said, "My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years, meaning God made us to live to we're 120. Why aren't all of us striving to be 120? I'm going to be 120 because that's what God made us out to be. Let's do this, right? There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of the men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were old men of renown. Then the Lord saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, "I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping things and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them." But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Wouldn't it be great to find grace in the eyes of the Lord? So, this is the genealogy of Noah, right? So we've done Cain, we've done Adam/Seth. Now we're looking at Noah. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was just a man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And God said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, and make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing flood waters on earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh in which is the breath of life. Everything that is in the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And every living thing of all flesh you shall bring two of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female, of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing in the earth after its kind. Two of every kind will come with you to keep them alive, and you shall take for yourself all the food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all that God commanded, so he did. How exciting. How exciting would it be for God to trust you to do that? It would also be very daunting to realize you're doing this and then everybody around you is going to die too. Yeah. Then the Lord said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male with his female, 2 each of every animal that are unclean, a male and his female. Also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all that the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters were on earth. So how old was he when he had his children? Where did it say? Where did we meet Noah? Noah was 500 years old when he begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And he was 600 years old when the flood waters were on the earth. Okay, so Noah with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives went to the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, and birds, of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as God had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month and the 7th day of the month. On that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was in the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife and the 3 wives of his sons with them entered the ark, they and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, all flesh in which is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female of all flesh, went into as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upwards, and the mountains were covered, and all the flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on earth, and every man. All in those in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life. All that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing, and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive, and the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. So it rained for 40 days, and then it stayed wet, flooded for 150 days. So that's the end of today's reading of the Bible. Once again, Genesis 4 to 7. But as I said yesterday, we have a little bit of things throughout this Bible with just a little bit of hints and tips and information for us. So let me read that. So this is for your heart and mind. And it says, be prepared. As you pursue a heart of excellence, realize that preparation is important to God, and He will guide your planning. His very name is Jehovah Jireh. God will provide. You have the opportunity to mirror this aspect of God's character when you plan and prepare in order to provide for your loved ones. Blessed by your far-sighted preparations and God's promised care, your loved ones are indeed doubly blessed. So don't wing it. Plan everything, basically. Then she talks about some of the females that we discussed today. So let's first look at Ada, who was whose wife? Lamech's, one of Lamech's wife. Remember, Lamech had 2 wives. One of them was Ada. So Ada had a difficult marriage. She was married to an angry man who boasted of killing another man. He also had a divided heart, having 2 wives. But the Bible does record one ray of happiness. Ada had 2 sons who contributed significantly to their culture. You may identify with Ada's less than ideal marriage situation, but like Ada, look to the gods for signs of His blessing, even in the midst of the darkness of heartache and sorrow. And you know, most women who have bad marriages never regret their children, never regret having the children to the father that they have. So it's a blessing. It's something that we need to appreciate. Then Zillah. So Zillah was the other wife of Lamech. So Zillah was the mother of the first daughter named in the Bible. She also had a son who became the founder of the ancient crafts of bronze and iron working. Zillah and her children lived in a period of transition from a primitive lifestyle to one of art and refinement, as well as one of increasing evil. Like Zillah, you live in a period of transition with its forward progress, but also growing evil. Be thankful to God for His presence present blessings and look to his promised return when all evil is vanquished. Then Noah's wife. Now, I don't know if they actually ever mentioned Noah's wife, the name of Noah's wife, but Noah's wife was called by God to build an ark. Noah was called by God to build an ark of salvation. How could Noah's wife help in God's plan? She could believe in God's plan for her husband's path. She could pray. She could encourage him for the 120 years he labored to build the ark. I actually don't know where that says that he did that. I don't know. Anyway, and even help with the building. And most of all, she could, by faith, follow her husband's leading. God may not be calling your husband to build an ark, but he is asking you to follow the example of Noah's wife in supporting your husband. Then let's look at Noah's daughter-in-laws. Noah knew he would obey God, and he perhaps thought he could count on his wife and 3 sons to do the same. But what about the 3 daughters-in-law? Would they respond to God's invitation to follow Noah into the ark, into salvation from the peril signaled by the gathering black clouds? God is issuing his divine invitation to you too. Come into the ark of salvation. Are you responding positively to God's call of love and his invitation to live, to life, to eternal life? So that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. If you want to go back and read it yourself, it was Genesis book 4 through to book 7, or chapters 4 to 7. I will see you all tomorrow. I hope you've had an amazing day. God bless.